in terms of being a veteran, has your experience of being a veteran help you become a better father, or found activities that you can engage a little bit more, whereas if you were not a veteran?
I could say that me being a veteran, it structured me as far as being a father, as far as the discipline. It just put me on point as far as, the instructions wise, as far as like how to be on point with everything, be blunt with everything, don't beat around the bush, be open, and I know if I wasn't in the military, I wouldn't have never gained that structure, because I would have probably been wild somewhere, and I don't think I would have been fit for a father then. I could say the military helped me in that way as far as structuring me as a man. And it's to a point like now as a veteran, she didn't have that experience of me being in the military, but she see the effective side of me being a veteran, because she could come up and you ask her anything about her father, she would tell you that I'm a veteran before she tell you I'm a storyteller. So that she know about me. She grew up knowing that I was a veteran. My daddy's a veteran. My daddy's a veteran. So when she see things on the TV, we support our troops. My daddy's a troop, So she know more of me being a veteran than she does of me being a storyteller. And, I work at the Bronx VA. I work at the Veterans Hospital, and I bring her to my job. And the thing about me is she see how I interact with people, and I'm a people's person. And she sees that, and she was like, wow, my daddy's a veteran. He know a lot of people, and everybody always speaking to him, and he's always speaking to them, And then she put me, Daddy, are you famous? I said, no.
She's still waiting for that check.
Yeah,
and then the holidays is coming. She's putting a bid in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that check stretched a little bit these holidays.
Well, it doesn't take a lot of money to make a child happy. No. In fact, one of my favorite pastimes is very simple. In the summertime, as silly as it might sound, even making them, I blow bubbles. You know what I mean? I get
she loves bubbles.
Don't all kids, right?
Yeah, she loves bubbles.
I bring, there's a guy that's in Central Park, and he makes these gigantic bubbles, and I'll even shoot that in 3D, the big bubble guy. And even if she's not engaged in doing them, that's a wonderful experience to share something that's meaningful. There's plenty of things that you could do that don't cost a lot, but the time is the one thing that is important in the memories.
Yeah, and the thing about it, you can't make it up. I with my daughter, I am doing what I'm doing as a man, because I want my daughter to grow up and, no daddies want to hear that their daughter's going to be in a relationship, but I know it's coming, and I want her to be able to be like, well, if this man isn't like my father, I don't want to even deal with him. So that's the example that I set while I'm with my daughter, and I make her comfortable around me to where if there's anything, she's at the age to where she's starting to experience. And so if anything, she would never be uncomfortable with coming to her father, asking me a question about anything. And, I play with her, we joke, we laugh, we talk about a lot of things, Thank God we haven't talked about sex yet. She haven't asked.
You got some time, and so do I.
Yeah, but
maybe we could join and share some stories on how we're gonna deal with that.
But I make it my business to make her comfortable to where if anything happens, she could come to Daddy and talk to Daddy about it without being like, well, I don't know if I should bring this to Daddy. What might he say? So I try to keep her in that comfort zone at all times as a father, and it's not easy. But it's fun,
and always interesting and unpredictable as children in life may be. Children, and my daughter grounds me, gives me a sense of purpose, something to live for, reason to smile, sometimes even a reason to cry, even if it's a tear of joy, because I just cannot express the blessing that I have and the opportunity of having a part of having a life here on earth that is an extension of me. And even for my daughter's mother, for having the opportunity to become a father, because I wouldn't be a father without her.
Right.
And that's important to recognize too. We don't always do it alone, but we have different types of relationship, and that's okay too.